Ryan. Today we're going to do a backsplash. First I wanted to talk to you about the materials that we use to do this project. First we've got this 12 by 12 glass tile piece here. We used 3 packages, which is about 45 pieces for this smaller kitchen. Next we've got this 1 gallon of tile adhesive here. We used up almost 1 gallon to put on those 45 pieces. Another material that you'll need are these little spacers to space in between the glass tile in a few different spots. You'll also need a bag of grout. This is kind of a biscuit colored grout. It's a 10-pound bag, and for this project we used the whole bag of this. So for 45 pieces of tile you need about a 10-pound bag of grout. You're also going to need a bucket, and then after you get the project all done, you want to use this cleaner and grout. Next I want to talk to you about the tools that we used for this project. What we've got here is a sanding tool. Before you put the backsplash down, it's a good idea to sand the wall, get it nice and flat, and then just kind of rough it up before you put the adhesive down. You're going to need this tile trowel, and then I also used this pointed trowel here to apply the adhesive, and it also came in handy to go in a few of the tight spots, this smaller trowel here. I also used this to scrape pieces off behind the backsplash before we applied it. You're also going to need some scissors. This is on a just kind of a fabric type wire backing that you can easily cut with a standard set of scissors. Your tape measure. This piece here is a grout float. Once you get ready to put the grout down, you're going to need this float like this. This here is a tile cutter, and this is a mixer that I use to mix the grout. You can also buy the grout pre-mixed. It's a lot more expensive that way, so we bought it, put it in a bucket and some water and mixed it up with the drill. That's why we needed the drill there for that. All in all, this project you could do for about $250. The tiles cost about $80. The tile adhesive is another $20. Your grout's another $20. You can purchase a tile kit from most of the Home Depot, Lowe's, that kind of thing, that comes with most of the tools that you need to do a project like this. Comes with a bucket and a few other things. Your sponges for about $30. You're going to need to purchase these tile cutters, which is another $25. Got your spacers, some sandpaper. Assuming you rent a wet saw to cut your tiles, you can rent them for about $40. Some miscellaneous expenses. You can do this project for about $250. As far as the time that is needed to do this project, it took me roughly 15 hours to prepare the wall for the backsplash, apply it, grout, clean it, everything like that. Some tools that I already had were a drill, this mixer, measuring tape, some towels. So assuming you already have some of the basic tools there, the project would cost you about $250. Last, I'm going to show you the tile saw that I bought to do this project. You mainly need the tile saw only to cut these flat edges here, and in a few different spots there we needed the tile saw. And like I say, you can rent them or you can purchase one. The one I have is about $300. Okay, so this is a tile saw. And basically what it has down here in the bottom is water. And the water gets sucked up through this pump right here and the pump pushes the water through the line and it actually squirts out onto the blade. So as you're making the cut, it basically shoots the water right there on the blade. These tile saws, you can purchase them for about $100 for an entry-level one. One like this is about $300. You can also rent them for about $40. But this definitely makes this project a little easier to do, and also gives you a better finished do-it-yourself product. We're going to install this glass tile backsplash. And lay out your tiles to determine how many pieces you're going to put on your first wall. Then I've taken and removed all the socket covers and got those all loosened up. But you want to take your tile pieces and kind of lay them out all the way along so you know how many pieces you're going to use on this one section, and cut them. Make your first cut to where when you get down to the very end on this back wall here, you're going to not have a real small piece in here. You want to have a fairly larger piece towards the end there. There's a couple different options you can do with this. What some people choose to do is just cut this straight. To do this, you really need a wet saw to be able to get a fine cut like that. You can use these little glass tile nippers, and they cut pretty good, but they kind of leave it a little bit jagged and it's hard to get it real straight. So if you want a real nice straight cut like that, you have to have the wet saw. You can also take and polish the ends to get a little bit shinier edge there. So if you want that to look, you know, nice and polished, you can take a little Dremel and a polishing attachment and
you can also
buy little runners that go along the edge here. They come in different colors like bronze or silver or white. Put it along the top so it'll keep the tile protected from getting, you know, dirt and stuff down in there, or possibly chipping the edge of the tile. You can put that basically protected. Will go along the top. So you want to pick up a bag of little spacers, put in the areas to make sure that the gap is exactly even with the rest of them. So there's a few spots when you put the pieces together, you're going to want to go through and put those spacers. So basically what you do is you lay out your pieces across this. You just take and put your tile piece next to your other one. Just kind of work it into place. So first I'll just kind of make sure my gap is right. And then I'll take and start pushing these pieces into the adhesive. Starting at the bottom. Once you've got it pushed on there, you want to get a board like this here and just kind of push it up against the piece there, and take your hammer and tap it in there nice and tight so the pieces push into the adhesive real well. You want to have a couple different tools. This tool here is what I put the adhesive on with first. I'll just kind of go through and get it all over the wall. You just take your trowel, just kind of push firmly and smooth that out a little bit. dries, you want to take a wet sponge and kind of wash all the adhesive off the front. Have you a bucket ready to go. Just kind of go through and scrub on the adhesive a bit. Get your tiles clean. We're at the point where we need to cut around that switch there. And what I do is I just lay the back of the tile out here. Grab your tape measure, measure the measurements there, and draw you a little outline on the back that you need to cut out. So just kind of pull this backing off from the area that you're going to be cutting out. And you've got this little tile piece right here that you want to cut. And I can see on that little line right there is the area that I want to cut. So you just take this and line it up, and you can see I've got that cut and that cut. I've just got to move to this one here. I just grabbed this little pointed trowel here and just kind of smooth this in and around all little areas that you need to. Try to get kind of an even coat of the adhesive on there. You don't want to put it on too thick, because then it's a real bugger to clean off. You want to use the big trowel wherever possible. To have one of these smaller ones to get into the tighter. You can see I just kind of put a little bit more adhesive back there, and then put that top piece back in there. You also can do that with these little pieces that have fallen out that we cut there. Alright, so as you can see, I'm getting towards the end of this section of the wall, which I'm going to need to cut one of the tiles in half and do a straight cut. So I'm going to show you on the tile saw how that's done. Okay, so you can see we've got a back piece of the tile here, and I've taped this with just some painter's tape. This keeps the tile pieces from flipping up into the blade or getting uneven to where it might mess up the cut. And that's all there is to it. Not too bad, it's pretty easy. Okay, so that's the piece there that I cut on the tile saw. And we got a nice flat edge up there to the wall. I'm getting ready to put the last piece there, right up there in the corner. For this section of the wall, and then we'll get ready to do the other section of the wall here tomorrow. Okay, so we're moving right along. Once you get going, it actually goes pretty fast. You start figuring out a little bit better techniques to apply this stuff and clean it up. One thing, once you get to the stove portion, you want to put a piece of board there. I just had a piece of trim laying around that I put on there so I can put the tile pieces along that piece of trim as I move along on the stove area. Alright, so everything's going pretty good. I'm down to my last couple tile pieces here, and about the biggest thing I've learned is to make sure that you, when you put the tile adhesive down, that you don't put too much on it, and you just kind of use the trowel to get it scraped away. If you put too much on there, it seems to be a lot harder to clean it out. Overall, not too bad. This is my first tile project. I've never done a backsplash or any type of tile before, so I was kind of excited to do this one. Being as I've never really worked with a tile saw or any type of tile, this was a pretty cool little project. Scrub the excess adhesive off of there. After this completely sets up and dries, I'm going to go through with a sponge and scrub it pretty good before I put the grout on. Okay, so I've got it all ready to be cleaned and then put the grout on there. You can see in some spots you want to get these little spacers just so you get the right look and the tile pieces aren't too crooked or not gapped properly. Getting ready to mix the grout here. I've got a mixing tool hooked into the end of my drill there, and we've got a bucket there we're going to fill with some water and mix the grout. Okay, so to apply the grout you need one of these gum rubber grout floats. Basically you just put the grout, push it into all the cracks, get it all over the tile, and just kind of push it you know, thoroughly through all the gaps in the tiles and across the bottom. Then I just take my excess and I put it in my, just kind of push it off like that and put it into my next work. Okay, so at this point you just take your clean water and your sponge. This first go around, you're just kind of smoothing out the grout in the rough spots and removing the excess grout that doesn't need to be there. Now once you've got the grout on there, you've gone through and smoothed it out with the sponge, you're going to leave kind of a white haze there that will go through and clean up. Alright, so get a clean sponge and just scrub off that white haze and the excess grout. Alright, so just finished up the backsplash and got all the electrical outlets put back together and sealed the grout. We're really happy with the way the backsplash turned out. Got it completely finished. We've gone through and cleaned it up and also applied a grout sealer to it. Keep the grout from staining. Okay, so with this kitchen, along with doing the backsplash, we also did a countertop transformation. This was a gray colored countertop. We've gone through and replaced that faucet there, and we've also done a transformation on the kitchen cabinets, installed a new range and stove, and basically gave this kitchen a new look. Do-it-yourself Bry and completed another project. Please check out some of the other videos if you're interested in how to apply this countertop transformation. I've got a video on that. I've also got kind of a short video on the cabinet transformation there as well.